all the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Fort ID raids unearth CTG armed cache in Bukidnon. AFP tracks to major Chinese naval formations near Luzon. Senate approves 6.793 trillion pesos 2026 national budget. PBBM asks Congress to prioritize anti-dynasty bill and 3 other measures.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo in Quezon City. Today is a Wednesday, December 10, and this is AFP Community News, your source with updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I'm Rafsudan Abay, here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the 4th Infantry Division recovered a hidden Communist terrorist group armed cache in San Luis Malitbog, Bukidnon after a joint mission by Special Forces, infantry units, and intelligence teams. Troops from the 403rd and 402nd Infantry Brigades unearthed rifles and magazines following information from a former rebel who voluntarily surrendered. 403rd Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Sigfred Tubalado praised the coordinated operation as proof of the Army's strengthened efforts to dismantle the remaining CTG elements. Moreover, 4ID Commander Major General Michel Anairon Jr. lauded the troops' discipline and said each recovered firearms brings the region closer to lasting peace.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines confirmed that it monitored 2 large Chinese naval formations near Luzon's eastern seaboard last week amid rising China and Japan tensions. AFP spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, said the landing carrier group and a separate amphibious task group sailed outside the Philippine EEZ but remain within the country's expanded maritime monitoring range. He emphasized that their movements must remain transparent and non-aggressive as the AFP now tracks regional naval activity involving China, Japan, and Taiwan. Rear Admiral Trinidad also reported persistent Chinese Coast Guard, Navy, and militia presence in the West Philippine Sea, warning that their continued activities keep escalation risk high.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
From NOLCOM, let us hear some information from Joanne regarding NOLCOM Commander reaffirms mission readiness, awards DRRU ribbon to JTF Valiant.
The commander of the Northern Luzon Command, Lieutenant General Aristotle D. Gonzalez, Philippine Air Force, conducted an official visit to the headquarters of the 501st Infantry Brigade at Camp Luis Bersamin, Barangay Togutod, Lagangialang, Abra on December 7, 2025. The visit highlights NOLCOM's steadfast commitment to strengthening operational readiness and sustaining the hard-earned peace and security gains across Northern Luzon. During the visit, Lieutenant General Gonzalez personally decorated the officers and personnel of the Joint Task Group Valiant with the Disaster Relief and Rescue Operation Ribbon. The award recognized their courage, dedication, and exemplary performance during the response and relief operations following the onslaught of Super Typhoon 1. The NOLCOM commander also commended the brigade for its significant accomplishments and unrelenting dedication, which have been vital in preserving stability and peace within the unit's area of operations. He reminded the troops that addressing evolving security challenges requires professionalism, unity of effort, and sustained mission readiness. This is John Sagak reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
More than 4,500 reservists assembled in Makati and another 48,000 joined online for the 2025 AFP National Reservist Convention and the Rapid General Membership Conference. The event, led by Colonel Mikey Romero and Major General Gerald Gagan, with Defense Secretary Gilberto Lloro Jr., showcased the growing role of reservists in national defense and disaster response. Speakers highlighted the force's professionalism, readiness, and crucial contributions from local communities to large-scale emergencies. United States National Guard leaders also attended, reinforcing strong international defense cooperation.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Department of Budget and Management announced it will soon release guidelines for the implementation of salary and subsistence allowance increases for all military and uniformed personnel. DBM Acting Secretary Rolando Toledo praised President Ferry Marquez Jr. for approving the multi-year pay adjustment, which begins on January 1, 2026. The increase, to be implemented in 3 tranches through 2028, covers personnel from the Department of National Defense, Department of the Interior and Local Government, Philippine Coast Guard, Bureau of Corrections, and National Mapping and Resource Information Authority. Subsistence allowance will also rise to 350 pesos per day starting January 1, 2026.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Let us hear more updates from Shaira about Philippine Navy holds a MOVE forum to boost men's role in ending VAUC.
Yes, good afternoon. The Philippine Navy's Gender and Development Center hosted the Philippine Navy MOVE Forum at Navy Headquarters, with personnel participating on-site and online. The event, themed United Across Generations, Building a Vow-Free Future, emphasized men's responsibility in promoting respect, accountability, and safety in all spaces. It formed part of the Navy's all-hands empowerment approach, highlighting that ending violence requires collective action. Speakers stressed that protecting the nation begins with protecting every woman, every home, and every generation. This is Shara Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Shaira.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine National Police deployed additional personnel to pursue No People's Army members who killed a police officer and a civilian in Calatrava, Negros Occidental. The PNP identified the fallen officer as Senior Master Sergeant Romel Aguilar of the 1st Negros Occidental Provincial Mobile Force Company. Acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Narratis Jr. said the police are building a case against the suspects and will take all legal and operational steps to stop further attacks. Aguilar and a resident were shot dead when 6 armed men opened fire as police tracked a wanted person in the area.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the Senate approved the proposed 6.793 trillion national peso budget for 2026 on third and final reading. This marks a major step toward finalizing next year's spending plan. The Chamber passed the General Appropriations Bill with 17 votes in favor, none against, and no abstentions, reflecting broad support for the measure. Notably, no senator raised objections or sought further interpellations before the budget was put to a vote.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
From Jim Boy, updates about 6FAB holds year-end conference to sharpen 2026 mission plans.
The 6th Field Artillery Battalion gathered its officer and senior enlisted leaders for a year-end conference focused on readiness and strategic planning. Leaders review 2025 programs and challenge while setting clear steps for executing 2026 plan. Participants discussed lessons learned and established corrective action to strengthen future operation. The battalion reaffirmed teamwork, discipline, and professional growth as essential to mission success. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
A total of 18.8 billion pesos was given to some 3.7 million pensioners in the form of their 13-month pension. Social Security System President and CEO Robert Joseph Declaro said the annual cash gift was credited to the pensioners in the first week of December, ensuring additional financial support to them during the holiday season. Declaro added it was in line with the directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and emphasized by Finance Secretary Frederick Go with the Social Security Commission. The SSS chief reiterated that the 30-month pension was part of the agency's commitment to support its pensioners during the holiday season.
DWDD National News.
An official of the Bureau of Working Conditions reminded employers the 13-month pay is mandatory and cannot be substituted by other allowances. BWC Director Alvin Corrada said the giving of 30-month pay is prescribed under a law where employers are mandated to pay their workers on or before December 24. He explained according to Presidential Decree Number 851 and subsequent DOLE issuances, the 30-month pay is mandatory and cannot be replaced by other types of bonuses such as Christmas bonuses, grocery allowances, or similar incentives. Asked if the company may release partial payment and give the rest before December 24, he said that PD 851 requires full payment of the 30-month pay by the deadline.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
From PAFC Mogla to hear from Sean about Philippine Air Force welcomes PACAF officials, holds key engagement with Chief Chaplains.
The Philippine Air Force welcomed delegates from Pacific Air Force led by Colonel Jose Y. Munoz of the United States Air Force during a courtesy call at PAF headquarters in Colonel Jesus Villamor Air Base. The team was received by Major General Antonio Z. Francisco Jr., Philippine Air Force, who expressed the PAF's appreciation for PACAF's continued cooperation in air operation and capability building efforts. On the same day, the PAF and PACAF chief chaplains held a religious key leaders engagement at Agunod Hall. The discussion focused on values formation, moral and welfare programs, pastoral care, and the role of chaplaincy in strengthening spiritual readiness among airmen. Both parties reaffirmed their commitment to ethical leadership, stronger support system for personnel, and shared values that enhance mission effectiveness. The activities underscore the deepening partnership between the PAF and PACAF in promoting interoperability, regional security, and personal development. This is Sean Berganyo reporting for AFP News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Sean, from PAFC Mog.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered Congress to prioritize the passage of 4 proposed legislative measures. This includes the Anti-Dynasty Bill, Independent People's Commission Act, Party System Reforms Act, and Citizens' Access and Disclosure of Expenditures for a National Accountability Act to institutionalize transparency and accountability on public finance. Palace Press Officer Castro said that PBBM met with the Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council to instruct them to pass the proposed measures as soon as possible. Castro said the LEDAC also agreed on the timelines for the passage of the General Appropriations Bill and the submission of the enrolled bill for the President's signing into law.
DWDD National News.
The 23.8-kilometer EDSA will soon be commuter and pedestrian friendly. This follows the directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to the Department of Public Works and Highways. The Department of Transportation to make EDSA accessible and walkable for commuters and pedestrians, especially for vulnerable sectors such as persons, citizens, and pregnant women. Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon and Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez took immediate action with a joint inspection of the pedestrian infrastructure in EDSA. Dizon said the inspection was preparatory to the immediate action The DPWH and DOTR would jointly undertake an EDSA for the safety and accessibility for pedestrians and commuters.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Let us hear more from Meljoy of 1st Year G about Kaugnay Division welcomes home 701st Infantry Brigade and 56 IB and further strengthens NOCON's security posture.
Yes, Rolf, the 7th Infantry Kaugnay Division reinforced its operational posture in northern Luzon with homecoming of the 701st Infantry Kagitingan Brigade and the 56th Infantry Tatag Battalion following their long and highly successful deployment in Mindanao. 7th Infantry Division Commander Major General Joseph Norwin D. Pasamonte, Philippine Army, welcomed the return of the combat-tested units, noting that their deployment significantly enhances the division's capability to protect communities, sustain peace gains, and bolster territorial defense under Northern Luzon Command. During their operational control under the 10th Infantry Aguila Division, the 701st Infantry Brigade dismantled 6 New People's Army guerrilla fronts, 2 Pulang Bagani commands, 1 sub-regional Centro de Gravidad, and 2 sub-regional committees, key accomplishments that contributed to the declaration of an insurgency-free Davao region. The 56th Infantry Battalion likewise dismantled 1 sub-regional guerrilla unit and 1 sub-regional committee while securing the critical areas of Talaingod and the Pantaron Range. Their sustained efforts denied the resurgence of communist terrorist elements and enabled the Tatag Indigenous Peoples Scholarship Program benefiting indigenous communities and far-flung areas. As the 701st Brigade and 56th Infantry Battalion reintegrate into the Kaugnay fold, the Armed Forces of the Philippines remain steadfast in its commitment to preventing the resurgence of communist terrorist groups and advancing inclusive peace and development across the region. This is Meljoy Nasho Arok reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of 1st CRG.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Quezon City government logged 648 new cases and 4 dengue-related deaths from November 17 to December 4. The 4 dengue-related deaths involve 3 males and 1 female aged 5 to 21 years. They presented warning signs at the time of report, while 1 case was classified as severe. The city government then urged residents to seek immediate consultation at the first signs of dengue, such as fever, headache, and rashes to prevent severe complications and reduce the risk of death.
DWDD National News.
Parañaque's 2nd District Representative Brian Raymond Yamsuan urged for the immediate passage of a measure instituting science-based strategies to mitigate the impacts of natural disasters and minimize the losses. House Bill 4035, or the proposed Multi-Hazard Mapping Act, aims to institutionalize the creation and regular updating of hazard maps for every city and municipality and integrate these tools into disaster risk reduction efforts and local development planning. They also seeks to build on the gains made by the Project NOAA, which utilize light detection and ranging scanning to identify risks and danger zones. Yamsuan said the recent destruction wrought by typhoons Uwan and Tino and strong earthquakes that shook the Visayas and Mindanao have overwhelmed frontline responders and strained the government resources.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
And some information from MJ about 5th Air Reserve Center leads community outreach in Danau City.
Yes, good noon. The 5th Air Reserve Center and the 560th Air Base Group, in partnership with the Rotary Club of Mandawi East, conducted a community outreach program in Isla Verde, Barangay Dunguan, Danau City. The activity delivered essential services to residents and reinforced the Philippine Air Force commitment to public service. Organizers aim to address immediate community needs and improve the well-being of local families. The outreach also strengthened civilian-military cooperation and partnerships with local stakeholders. This is MJ reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, MJ.
DWDD National News.
Sardiscaya arrived at the National Bureau Investigation Headquarters yesterday to surrender. This follows a direct order from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to have her and her husband, Curly, arrested immediately once the warrant of arrest was issued. Authorities at the NBA are now coordinating with the judicial system to process the arrest in accordance with legal protocols. No further statements have been released by Diskaya or her legal team.
DWDD National News.
The Office of the Ombudsman plans to create a unit that will serve cyber warrants, secure evidence, enforce investigative orders, and protect Ombudsman investigators from interference. Ombudsman Boying Remulla said the Ombudsman Marshal would coordinate the Philippine National Police, Department of Justice, Department of Information and Communications Technology, Anti-Money Laundering Council, and the Sandigan Bayan. Remulla noted that the creation of the Marshal was part of a broader plan to confront corruption and strengthen the office's capacity to protect the public. Civil society organizations were expected to provide research, independent analysis, and investigative insights, such as in the creation of the Ombudsman Marshal.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
For more report on the ground, to see the report of Beth about Air Force personnel join coastal cleanup in Palawan.
Tactical Operations Group Palawan South personnel joined a coastal cleanup and lead by the Sangguniang Kabataan of Fonta Baha at Longford Beach in Rizal, Palawan. The activity mobilized volunteers to remove waste and restore the cleanliness of the shoreline. Organizers said the initiative aimed to boost environmental awareness among the youth. Participants also encouraged stronger community involvement in protecting and preserving local coastal area. This is Beth Neta reporting for the EFP Community News, one EFP for the stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Beth Niete.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
On the other line, let's hear more from Leonor about Ford ID hosts ROTC Summit to build future reserve force leaders.
The 4th Infantry Division successfully held the ROTC Advanced Cadet Summit 2025, a two-day event designed to strengthen the reserve force and instill discipline, patriotism, and service among youth leaders. Led by 4th Infantry Division and supported by the Commission on Higher Education through a new partnership agreement, the summit brought together 184 advanced cadets from Army and Air Force ROTC units across northern Mindanao. Participants engaged in lectures, workshops, and team building activities, marking one of the division's most extensive ROTC gatherings. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for FP Community News, 1FP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
President Freddy Marcos Jr. appointed a new member of the Board of Directors of the Manila Economic Cultural Office, or MECO. In his letter sent to the office of MECO Chairperson Corazon Padiernos, Marcos named former Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary Cherbet Karen Lucero Maralit to replace former PCO Acting Secretary J.B. Ruiz. Ruiz's stay on the MECO board was another short-lived government stint after serving as the PCO Chief Communicator for barely 5 months. He was replaced by now Secretary Dave Gomez last July.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
As that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Ralph Susan Abay for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
sila in here. Kaya ako sa ulto mo. Ang lamig.
Nanibago sila sa program.
Dito ba yun? Oo, parang dito din yun.
Akala ko doon.
Naka ano lang. Hi! Visit ko sa inyo.
Ano ko visit sila?
Kasi naman talaga.
Hindi kaya na ano.
Baka hindi na nakarating.
Hindi niya kaya nakakagandihan niya.
Sabi 12:45 daw.
Oo mo. Lamig pala. Tatanggalin ko sana yung jacket ko kaso lamig.
O basta kung bet mo sumagot, ikaw na sumagot. Bahala ka na.
Ay, nako.
Sila ma. Kasi andito na yung ano nila eh.
Nagbasan nila eh. Naalala ko si ano? Si Uuhan. Military, frontier, social.
Oo.
Alam mo, ano? Alam mo, presidente.
Ngayon, bigyan mo kami ng telephone. Uy, gusto ko tong ganyan.
O, parang
Dikit lang, no? Parang dinikit lang siya. Hindi masyadong nakaganon. I just...
Ang lamang, guest pa ang nag-aantay sa inyo.
Ano, kami na lang mag-host. Gusto niyo ba kami na lang mag-host? Ano yung tela-tela yung ano. Nag-a-absorb kasi. Di ba yung mga theater? Dapat close.
Tsaka parang ano siya.
Kasi inaano yung sound.
Yan o, yan hindi ko maano. Butas-butas na yan. Yan ang mga ano talaga ng soundproof.
Oo. Ano kung inaano ang...
Kaya tinang parang tahimik to. Parang ano yung sound. Hindi siya yung nag-vibrate na.
Ayoko naman yung medyo tawag nito, yung wala ka na talaga naririnig sa labas. Yun sa bahay mo, no? Okay lang ganito kasi radio siya. Yun sa bahay, ayoko nang walang, alam mo yun, wala ka na. What if magkasunog? No? Yung may emergency ba?
Tsaka hindi mo dinig yung labas.
Linggo-linggo ba ito?
Yata.
Parang hindi naman kasi mo yun? Once a month na yun. Ilan tayo?
March yung huli natin, di ba?
Kasi nagpaano na sila, no? Si Joby, tapos si Joshua, yung CGM, na ayaw na nga nila kumuli. Nag-CGM na tayo. Nag-CGM pa tayo ngayon. Ano naman yun? Tsaka tatlong CGM. Piniba yung mga tao. Ano nyo na lang. Replay. Totoo yun. Dapat nire-replay na lang. Kasi, same na naman sasabihin mo. Dapat next year na kung talagang
Okay, parang gano'n na rin yung info. Di ba meron silang papalabas ng mga video?
Oo, yun lang. Hindi na yung interview. Dapat ginawa na lang nila yung natin, ng interview natin. Or ginawa nila yung script natin na may sagot. Ginawa na lang info. Hindi na yung interview
VP.
Ulit. Parang sa naman ata, never naman nag-ulit-ulit ng interview. Kasi nga, sasabihin mo?
Kasi parang inaano ko yung radyo, di ba? Parang meron lang silang based sa current mga issues. Yun ang magiging, parang free-flowing discussion
lang.
Pero
hindi yung paulit-ulit na. I-explain mo pa ngayon, ano na naman yan?
Kamukhang ano ba yung issue natin
ngayon?
Yung issue ng ang address nila, yung issue nung...
Hindi ba pwedeng ganun na lang?
Issue nung reimbursement. Yung hospitalization. Mag-invite sila na kung sino.
Paano po ba natin? Ano na bang mga ginagawa natin ngayon? Tsaka, sila ng accept sila ng messages or mga chats ng mensahe galing kay ganito. Tapos
kasi
pag-time. Yung, ang US ko, pinaka 43 na tayo awarding ceremony. Tapos itatanong mo pa, ano ang US
ulitin mo na naman. Baka sabihin, narinig na namin yan nung nakaraan iisa lang naman siguro listen na yun.
Narinig na namin yan nung nakaraan. Tapos yung dalawa din na yan yung nagsasalita
Tatlong beses na namin narinig yan.
Uy, matutuloy ba ito ngayon? Kasi 1 na.
7 minutes na lang. Message mo sila na. Ano na? Inip na ang guest ninyo. Kami na mag-host. Kayo na ang guest. Sabi ni Raymar, remind lang po namin yung sa radyo. Sabi, andito na kami. Kayo lang wala.
Ay, nag-message?
Si Raymar.
Anong oras ba yun?
12:45 12:50 pa na.
Ayaw na namin, late kayo
Ay, uwi na kami.
Babasa lang naman din tayo ng sagot.
No.
Uwi na afternoon. Hindi maganda yung hapon.
Maganda yung kanila.
Sa tagal ba
Work ethics.
Ang tagal kasi na nag-aabang doon nung sarado yung team.
Nakabukas na kami.
Nung pumasok kayo.
Kami may nakasabay kasi.
Sige na kami yung tao po, wala pa rin talagang tao.
Gusto na nga namin mag-host na lang tayo.
Palit tayo pwesto ba din? Handa na ba kayo sa inyo?
Hindi na eh. Nahiya na kami. Parang sasabihin ng mga... yung tatlong listeners mo, baka sabihin, yan din yung nagsalita, no? Yung tatlo lang naman yung nakikinig. Tapos sila din nakinig ulit.
Dapat inano mo na lang, ni-replay mo na lang
Oo nga eh. Sabihin, yun din ba dalawa? Sila din naman nakaraan na.
Tapos ang mga comment sa validation.
Tapos sabi,
Follow reimbursement.
pakibilisan nyo nga yung reimbursement. Ang bagal. Nakamatayan na yung father ko yung
Nandito sa loob kasi yung buzzer para makapasok.
Mga katropa, alam mo ba na ang DWDD 1134 kHz AFP radio ay ang opisyal na radio station ng sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng Army,